good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen. Let me get this little shawl on here. I have had a day today. You remember I told y'all about my cable connect? So I went to my cable connect's house to watch the Kings of Nappa. They were watching TV, but my Spectrum app picked up on their Spectrum, whatever, because I don't have Spectrum, but I have the app. And I was able to start watching Kings of Nappa. What happened was, on my pad, it only started on episode 2. So when you watch my review of episode 2, that is literally my first introduction to the Kings of Nappa. So it was a watch along review. So I'm going to leave it as is. But when they stopped watching, when my cable connect stopped watching TV and allowed me to come in and watch the online channel, then I saw episode 1. So what I'm going to do, so forgive me, charge it to just craziness. So all the stuff that I said about OWN and Oprah was false. It's not false. It was on my pad that they started on the second episode instead of the first episode. But when you're in your home and you watch on your television screen with the cable, it does start with the first episode. Okay? So, welcome back. This is my review of King of Nappa. King of Nappa was, the writer is Janine Sherman Barrios. She's a writer and a showrunner. She has worked on different things, self-made, inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker. She's worked on Claws. She's worked on Criminal Minds. She's worked on ER. She's done some short stories and various other things. So, when I first started watching, I was looking to see that type-esque of writing and stuff like that. And then I remembered watching OWN. But OWN does have some great shows like Queen Sugar and Greenleaf. You know, Greenleaf was a wonderful show. So, watching Kings of Nappa, it is a drama about the King family and the things that they're going through to continue to run their winery in Nappa. But they, y'all explain to me Nappa. Is Nappa just a region, or is it a region? Because where they were, when I saw them and what they were doing, they appear to live like in Oakland and San Francisco area. Is that part of the Nappa Valley? Y'all let me know about that. Put that down in the comments. Because I was really curious. Because I know, like, I think like the Santa Barbara area and all those things. So is Nappa Valley like a region in California? Is it the northern region of California? Y'all let me know. Because that's where it seems like it was taking place. Somewhere around, because looks like one of the characters lives in San Francisco. You know, those homes that look San Francisco-esque. So, the first episode is called Pilot. That's what I got. So, we have the King family. So, I've got my notes. I've got my notes for the first episode, the third episode, and I saw today's episode, which was the 4th episode. So we're going to go over the first episode in this video. I'm going to leave the second video as is, with a little disclaimer at the front. And then I'm going to go over the 3rd and 4th. So you'll probably get this episode, today. Tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. You'll get this Wednesday. You'll get the first and the second episodes on Wednesday, and then you'll get the 3rd and the 4th episode probably Saturday, no later than Sunday. And then I will be caught up, and so that I'll go into the next week, I'll go over to my Connect's house and watch the episodes in real time and do a watch along. All right. Whew. So let's get into this. Now, let me, before we get into it, it is, there are a lot of not new characters, but young actors and actresses here. So I would say the acting is of new actors and actresses. Not the best, not the worst, but it'll get you through seeing what the plot of the show is. So let's get into this first episode. Now, when the episode starts, we're in the home of the King family. The patriarch is Reginald King. His wife is Vanessa King. They have 3 children. They have Dana, they have August, and then they have Christian. Dana is the eldest, which I said in order. He is a Harvard and Wharton School of Business graduate. He is the current CFO, Chief Financial Officer of the House of King Winery and Businesses. He is a very ambitious man, and he's also a little person. He's very ambitious. He wants to be able to take over from his father. So he is showing that he is very, very ambitious on that front. Hold on just a second, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. So Dana is very ambitious. He is married. I can't think of his wife's name. I can't think of his wife's name. But anyway, he's married and he's doing all the things and setting himself up to be the next head of his father's business. All right. Then we have August. August is the only daughter, so you know she's a daddy's girl, and he has spoiled her immensely. She has a lot of ideas. She works for the company. She comes up with a lot of the ideas for the company, which have been profitable to this point. And then we have Christian. Christian is the baby. Christian is pretty much a young millennial. He has his own little bourbon line his father invested in for him. So he has his own little bourbon line. He also has, he's today's young person. Instagram and being around and out balling like there's no tomorrow. Just a young person, so he doesn't really have a lot of the responsibilities. He really doesn't try, and they don't really give him too many responsibilities. I think he basically slapped his name on the bourbon. I think he slapped his name on the bourbon, like many people do. And so I don't know if it's profitable or not, but he's marketing it. He's drinking it. He is about his bourbon line. Let's see. And there's another child, a cousin named Bridget. Bridget is the, let me see. Bridget is the vineyard manager. So she is the person that's out there knowing how to grow the grapes, propagate the grapes, know the best time to pick the grapes, because I learned something new, that they pick these grapes at night because that's when they're the sweetest. I didn't know that. I would think they'd be out there in the middle of the day, but they're not. They're out there at night picking the grapes. But anyway, but she knows all about that. She is a free spirit type young lady. She's artsy. She knows how to work with the ground. She grows her own fruits and vegetables. She does all of these different things. So this is Bridget. So they are having a family dinner. They were prepping and preparing for this family dinner. August wanted to present her idea of having a sweet or a dessert wine added to their wine list. She's saying that it's hip right now to have like a prosecco, to have a moscato, to have all those things. So she's figuring if we have a high quality dessert wine, that it would be it would help bring more money and more revenue and make wine more hip for the younger people. But I think wine is one of those drinks that has never gone out of style. I don't care what generation you're in. Wine is one of those drinks that never goes out of style. It is always considered to be chic, sophisticated, regardless of your palate. You don't have to be able to find out the taste. It's just that if you've got a particular type wine that you like, I like a Pinot Grigio for my white, or I like a white blend, and then I like a good Cabernet Sauvignon for my red. I like a good champagne or a sparkling wine, and those are my tastes. If out of all of those that I have talked about, I'd rather drink. Well, actually, let me add the Chardonnay too, because I'd rather drink a Pinot Gris or a Chardonnay. I can drink that every day if I decide. But with my red, I need a Cabernet Sauvignon. Merlot is okay, but it's something about that Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a good one. I'm telling you the truth. Anyway. Got me acting crazy. So they have this dinner, and they're sitting around the table, and I will say that August and Dana are competitive. They are really, really competitive, and apparently they've been competitive since they were little. So they get to arguing back and forth and arguing back and forth and arguing back and forth at the table. The father gets upset, says it's enough. He's saying that we're family and we don't need to be arguing like this. Da 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 da. Next thing you know, he gets to clutching his chest. He falls over. He dead to the floor. He's had a heart attack. I also want to mention about Reginald the Patriarch. He was actually a surgeon who bought a winery, and then the winery became really, really profitable. So he's still a surgeon, but he has a winery that's profitable. So his wife and his children, everything basically was running the winery. He ran it too, but I think that they had a lot of the other money coming from him being a surgeon as well. So Reginald dies. He leaves a will, and in his will, he left Dana as the chief financial officer. He left Christian, his money, and then whatever extra money he needed to work on his bourbon line. He also left Bridget as the winery manager. That was her title, winery manager. And the mother, they got their stocks. Everybody got their stocks and their shares or anything like that. However, the biggest bombshell, not the biggest bombshell, but the biggest bombshell in regards to the business is that everyone just assumed that he was going to leave Dana as the president of the company. He didn't do that. He gave that to August. So Dana was upset about that because Dana has been grooming himself and positioning himself to be the president and the CFO of the company, but that's not how his father left in the will. He left everyone to have a vote on the board because everybody is on the board. So while they're reading the will, Melanie's sister shows up. Vanessa's sister Melanie shows up at the reading of the will, and she's asking Vanessa, say, "Hey, I need to talk with you. I really do need to talk with you. You need to talk, come and talk to me." Vanessa has a kink about her sister for some reason. She doesn't really like her sister, or she just thinks that her sister is flighty, a liar, and everything else. And so she tells her sister, "Hey, you need to wait to the end." She says, "Well, it can't wait." And she says, "It needs to wait." And so, Vanessa frustrated Melanie to Melanie blurted out that Reginald borrowed $10 million from her. Apparently she had some kind of pharmaceutical something happened in a pharmaceutical lawsuit. She was a whistleblower or something. So she got $15 million in this pharmaceutical lawsuit, and then she loaned Reginald $10 million, and she wanted her $10 million back. Come to find out that the company is just barely profitable, and that, you know, if they don't have a good harvest, if they don't have a good thing, they will you know, they may possibly go under. They don't give me like they're just like destitute or broke, but I just think that they're just the extra profits that they thought they had is not showing themselves. So that's the first bombshell that Melanie broke down. The second bombshell she broke to the family was the fact that her daughter Bridget is actually Reginald's child. So you remember on All Kinds of People how I don't like that Taylor girl because she's playing two ends to the middle. I don't like that Melanie girl because how you gonna go with your sister's husband like that? And apparently y'all been going together for a long time. I don't trust nor do I like that Melanie girl. I just don't. See, I already find my people right from the beginning. So, you know, you gave your lover $10 million to work up in your winery, and you were expecting that you gonna get your $10 million back pretty soon, but he couldn't give the $10 million back. But we'll go into why the winery was at a certain point. I did talk about Dana got really upset with all. Everybody is really upset about all the information, and particularly Bridget. She don't know what to do. She's like, wait a minute, you told me that my father was dead, and you even made me go to a grave to mourn my father. What is going on? And Vanessa's like, I don't believe it. Melanie's like, I'm so sorry. But you just want to rile your sister up because you could tell there's some sibling rivalry there. You just want to rile your sister up, but you gonna sleep with her husband? That's what we do? Ugh, girl. I love black folks. We are good, bad, or indifferent, but child, some things I just can't get. I can't get with that. I cannot get with family members doing stuff like that to each other, going with each other's boyfriends or husbands, girlfriends or wives. I don't even get into these cousins, and I just don't get into a lot of that stuff. That stuff is family should I believe families should love each other, but that's too much loving if you want to know. If you really want to know the truth about it. That's just how I feel. But I still love my family. I'd still love my family. I'm just saying, but that's just too much loving. Let me see what else happened. Oh, yeah. So Dana is upset. He's trying to plot with his wife to get August out of the company. Let me see. I took some notes. Vanessa. Okay. Vanessa got mad about hearing all the information from her sister. She was so mad about learning that her sister had given Reginald $10 million. And she was also upset finding out that Reginald was the father of Bridget. She fires Bridget. Which I couldn't understand because y'all were all lovey-dovey at the beginning of the show. And then you find out that and then you fire Bridget. Bridget ain't had nothing to do with all that. And so Bridget is a good wine manager, and you fire her. You stop her bag because you mad at her mama. Child. But that's what she did. She fired the poor girl. And they gave the job to Christian. Christian is the son that I'm quite sure Reginald believed he couldn't do half that stuff that he was doing. But they fired poor Christian. I mean, they fired poor Bridget and put Christian in the place. So that was, as I'm going through my notes, that's pretty much it about the first episode. It was it piqued my the seat. Now remember, I told you at the beginning of this episode that I saw the second episode first, and the second episode piqued my interest about the show. So I'm going to keep on going with the show. I'm going to stick beside it. It's my new show, so I'm going to stick beside it. But if you're watching Kings of Nappa, tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. Talk to me about just the mechanics of it. What do you like? Because we're going to talk more about that and mechanics in my third, when I review the third episode, okay? So, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you like my videos, I see y'all watching them. So go ahead and subscribe. It's okay. It's free to subscribe. And it'll make my heart sing if you do. La la la. I'm still on my quest to 500 subscribers, so help me that. If you're watching, let me know down in the comments. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified on my videos. I usually upload on Wednesdays and Sundays. And as always, people, until the next one, bye-bye.